find a violation under the old site, I would then order that compliance occur. I don't have to think about the time that I would give, but I would certainly, even if I were thinking about giving 8 months for compliance, I would certainly want to schedule a compliance hearing well before that, a status hearing, to see what was going on as far as the approval and all. What would be appropriate? Mr. Bland, do you have a thought as to what would be acceptable to the county code enforcement for a status hearing following this? I'm not going to give 8 months and then not come back for 8 months. I'm familiar enough with these kind of situations. We need to keep a regular review of this.
And Mr. Fugate, in our motion, we do recommend that.
Okay.
So I think from the original start of the case was Department of Health permitted them for a 20,000-gallon holding tank and for 5 trucks. And I'm assuming on that permit, there's a required address. I would assume that
Okay.
for that location, we're going to allow this operation to go in the Department of Health side.
Right.
Department of Health doesn't hold up
Sure.
their septic permits for zoning compliance. But if the zoning compliance would have happened prior to going and getting those permits, this would have all been addressed, and she probably would have had a new location and
A long time ago.
business operation. So I don't know the time frame it took for them to get that permit from Department of Health, because I would look at it, they have to apply for a permit from Department of Health for the holding tank and the 5 trucks at a new location. What's that time frame? Because I don't want to get, again, what I don't want is they get the permits and they're cleared through Department of Health for the holding tank and the permits for the trucks at the new location,
Yeah,
the business decisions.
understand.
Mr. Mayor, can I respond to that?
Sure.
The problem with that is we're not even allowed from the county to move the tank to the new location until we have the site plan development approval and building permits for the site.
So how does that interplay with the Department of Health that he's talking about? Can you have a code, can you have an application moving along with the Department of Health at the same time?
I'm sure the Department of Health is very flexible on this. We can modify.
Right.
It doesn't need to be a new permit application.
And it won't take long for them to move it from one location to the.
It's just paperwork.
Yeah.
And they would probably need to do a site inspection to make sure it's
When
proper.
we talk about the Department of Health, are we dealing with somebody in Tallahassee or are we dealing with local
It
department
was
here?
a local office.
Okay, all right. Right, okay. What would be, well, one other question.
And I'm sorry, if I may.
No, go ahead.
Just one other point. I appreciate, what code enforcement is saying, but no matter how you cut it, it does create a financial burden if my client has to move the tank multiple times. Because the whole point of this is let us, you've been working with the county, please let us have the time to lawfully set up a new site so that it is fully ready, so that we never have to do anything again.
Understand.
And we don't have to pick up the tank, move it, pick it up again, move it, shift it, and so.
And, okay, so we probably got a third party here that's involved, right? This is all being driven by neighbors' complaints,
Correct.
which is almost always the case.
Correct.
And we have to be cognizant of that also.
Can I let her speak?
Does she wish to speak? Okay. I will hear from the neighbor.
Hi, I'm Cindy Babbione. Do I need to give my address?
No, that's fine.
Okay, well, I'm the neighbor down there, and I just wanted to say, as you review the request to make your decision, I'd like you to take into consideration that this has been an ongoing process for the past 15 months. I've patiently waited for the board meetings, the ordinance to be written and recorded. She's acquired commercial property in the correct zone. The cease and desist has been issued and passed the deadline, but she still continues to operate the sewage, storage, and transfer activities on the residential property. I'm often forced into my house when they pump. The stench is horrible, not to mention the concern for ground contamination and from spillage from the activities and the potential effect it may have on the groundwater. She, by her own admittance, decided not to check with zoning when she installed the tank in August of 2024. This is not an attack against her business, but there needs to be accountability. What's the point of having ordinances, cease and desist notices, etc., if there's no consequences? There seems to be no rush to relocate, but there sure was a rush to bypass zoning and get it on site last August. And she's not a victim, I'm not a villain. She just made a bad business decision and it's cost her dearly. There just has to be consequences, and it's time to move the tank. And I don't think all this effort was put into it when she put the tank there. All the concerns that they're bringing up, those are current concerns with the location that it's at now.
Understand.
And then there was also, he made a comment about her being there, you know, running her business for 15 years. There's a little bit of deceit there because she hasn't been there for 15 years.
I'm asking, I've got you before me to give me the facts.
Okay.
You want me to make the arguments.
All right, but the 15 years has not been on that property. The tank has been there since August of 2024.
And I
Just to make that
think the
clear.
time frame I'm concerned about with the existence, well, there'd be two things. Number one, if they predate, if it had been there long enough to predate whatever the regulation is, which it's not. Number one, and number two, the only other time frame I'm worried about is the initiation, the date that code enforcement was initiated.
Right, and then, I mean, I understand reasonable time, but whenever, I think a reasonable time needs to be set once the whole permitting process and everything, once that's finalized, there needs to be a reasonable time to get it moved.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else you have?
No, sir.
Anything else, Mr. Flagg?
No, Mr. Magistrate, although just in response to that, she's been to every public meeting with regards to this issue. We respect her.
As is her right.
And absolutely, I'm not criticizing that at all. We understand her complaint about the odor. And this whole process, what the county is doing in response to her complaint, what Mr. Banton is doing in response to her complaint, what we are doing in response to her complaint, is all to address her complaint. And it was the fact that the code didn't sufficiently address this type of business, and what my point of the motion is, clearly the county wanted this type of business, but it failed to ever decide.
Arguably, I got it.
Okay.
My common sense analysis of that is arguably the county didn't anticipate this type of business located. It certainly anticipated the existence and the location of porta potties at events. It didn't anticipate this type of business for the likely reason that all of the businesses that were doing this were not located in the county at the time. So that's clearly how I would do that. Or I think Mr. Benton alluded to, or maybe these types of businesses did exist and were located in jurisdictions like municipalities that did allow it. I don't know, but most of which is irrelevant to the actual violation. So I think what my thought coming away from this is I am inclined to find that there is a violation on the current location. I am inclined to allow, given all the circumstances and the efforts that have had to happen to for the owner to get another property and make this legal, I'm inclined to allow some period of time for that to take place. I'm not inclined to put a number there. It seems to me that 8 months is is a lot longer period of time than it should take for that. So I'm not going to pin a date on it other than to bring it back for a status hearing. I'm thinking 60 days. I'm thinking that the county should be able to move its permitting process along rather quickly. Do I only see, let me make sure I'm looking at this right. What's the criteria?
The site plan application,
Yeah, hang on, let me look.
it's brand new, so everyone's getting used to it.
In the ordinance, there's 4 criteria.
And
Is the application more than that, I guess?
They've asked for more, and that is something that I have to talk to the planning and zoning department about, because they're asking for more requirements than what the new ordinance requires.
And planning and zone, well, yeah, that department will have to probably seek legal counsel, which is a whole other story. Okay, yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm assuming that scheduling something 60 days out will meet with a regular, normal schedule of having a monthly meeting, a monthly hearing, right? That'd be okay, Mr. Benton?
Yes, sir.
Any strenuous objections to what I just said?
I do not, Mr. Magistrate. I just ask that you obviously understand everything we've done to try to work with the county. Just keep that in mind as we go forward.
Got it. And so I'm not ordering it to be cured in 60 days. If it is, if the status conference in 60 days is that it's done, I think everybody will be happy. And, but if not, we'll have a status conference at that time. We'll revisit the status at that time. I'm sure that the county has spent some money in this code enforcement, so I am inclined with this order to include those numbers, those standard numbers in my order.